The claim that Rusesabagina Paul confessed on charges and therefore can get reduced sentence is not valid, but since he is a first-time offender, the court finds that his sentence should not be increased because the 25 years was given as in accordance with the weight of his crimes, and the court maintains his sentence.
Rwanda's Court of Appeal last Monday upheld a 25-year prison term against ailing Hotel Rwanda hero Paul Rusesabagina on terrorism charges, rejecting a prosecution appeal to increase the penalty to life. The fiercely outspoken critic of President Paul Kagame, who had been in custody for almost 600 days, was convicted last year after a trial his family and supporters branded a sham that was plagued with irregularities. His family accused Rwandan authorities of not using legal means to bring him back to Rwanda.
My father is Belgian, so the Rwandan authorities should have used legal means to bring him back to Rwanda. The decision to kidnap him, to put him in a private plane, to take him by force to Rwanda shows that they themselves do not believe in the legitimacy of the evidence against him.
Rusesabagina's family has also continually warned he could die behind bars. In early March, they said his health was at a crisis point and that he needed treatment immediately. State prosecutors had appealed to the original sentence, saying the punishment against the former Kigali hotel manager was too lenient and should be increased to life. His family, as a result, has been calling on Belgian authorities to help their kin be released.
First, I'm addressing the Belgian authority and the Prime Minister Alexander De Croo because he is in a position to be able to release my father, to be able to negotiate with Paul Kagame so that my father can come home.
The court last week also made a ruling on appeals against sentences meted out to Rusesabagina's 20 core defendants who were originally jailed for between 3 and 20 years. All the accused were convicted in September 2021 of backing an armed rebel group blamed for a spate of deadly attacks in Rwanda in 2018 and 2019.
With regard to Rusesabagina Paul, he is convicted of being a member of an illegal armed group and participating in terror activities, but he is acquitted of creating an illegal armed group. Therefore, Rusesabagina Paul is sentenced to 25 years imprisonment.
The 67-year-old was seen to boycott almost all proceedings in the case against him, and he was not in court for Monday's ruling last week. He is credited with saving more than 1,200 lives during the 1994 genocide, in which 800,000, mostly Tutsis, but also moderate Hutus, were slaughtered. He became the most famous Rwandan globally after American actor Don Cheadle dramatized his deeds during the genocide in the 2004 Hollywood film Hotel Rwanda. But in the years after Hollywood made him an internationally recognized celebrity, a more complex image emerged of a staunch government critic whose tirades against Kagame led him to be treated as an enemy of the state. Recently, the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention concluded that Rusesabagina had been abducted when he was arrested in August 2020 and that his detention was arbitrary, calling for his immediate unconditional release. His lawyer also at some point last August denounced lack of access to the prison where Rusesabagina was being held.
I have not seen my client. That is the whole problem. They refuse to let me see my client. I went to see the president of the bar who did not want to see me. I went to see the attorney general who did not want to see me, the minister of foreign affairs, the minister of justice. But in Belgium, the minister of foreign affairs contacted his counterpart. The federal prosecutor's office has also done so, and they don't want to give us an answer. They don't want me to see him.
Ahead of the original verdict, Kagame dismissed a criticism of the case against Rusesabagina, saying he was in the dock not because of his fame, but over the lives lost because of his actions. Rusesabagina has in the past been seen to fall in the bad books of President Kagame as he continued to denounce him. The president has been in power since 1994 and is accused by critics like Rusesabagina of crushing opponents and ruling through fear. He left Rwanda in 1996 and has been living in Belgium and the United States, where he has permanent residency. He was arrested in August 2020 when a plane he believed was bound for Burundi landed instead in Kigali after what his family has described as a kidnapping. Both the United States and Belgium have voiced concern that Rusesabagina had been denied a fair trial, and his family insists their ailing father has been mistreated in prison and denied proper legal services, and in the past have expressed that they also fear for his life.
We are afraid that my father will be killed in prison, as Kizito was killed in Rwanda. We are afraid that Kagame has been harassing him and following him for several years. The evidence is before us. I am not a politician. I am a young woman who defends her father. It is up to politicians to find a solution to a political problem. My father is a political prisoner and nothing else.